So this problem's a little different because we are looking for how long it's going to take for this to happen. That means that we're solving for t. We're interested in solving for time. So we want our $1,000 to grow to $20,000. So we're going to have 20,000 is equal to my initial investment, which is 1,000, times the quantity 1 plus my interest rate as a decimal, 0.08, divided by how many times the bank will compound my interest. Monthly would be 12 times a year. And then we're raising it to the 12 times t power. So now you have to look at what kind of equation you have to solve here. And this is an exponential equation. So we have to think, okay, how did we solve exponential equations? Well, the first step is always to isolate the exponential quantity. And our exponential quantity is the 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12. So on this problem, we would want to divide both sides by 1,000. So 20,000 divided by 1,000 will give us 20. So we have right now 20 equals the quantity 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12 raised to the 12t power. Now you can go ahead and put what you have here in the parentheses in your calculator and see if this works out to be an exact decimal, 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12. But if you do that and you look at the value on your calculator, do you see how it's not an exact decimal? This decimal continues on. It doesn't terminate. So we have two options. We could go ahead and attempt to convert that decimal to a fraction, to fraction form. That's one option. Or you could go ahead and use a feature on your calculator which allows you to store. So let me try to take you through the keystrokes of how to store on your calculator. Go ahead in your calculator and input the 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12. And you'll get a decimal that looks like 1.00 and then a whole bunch of sixes. I'm just going to write 1.0066 and I'm going to put ... just to imply that this decimal continues. And this is what's getting raised to the 12t power. Now we do not want to round this decimal because that will decrease the accuracy of our final answer. But our calculator has a handy feature that lets you store this decimal with all of the decimals for accuracy. So you want to look on your calculator for the button that says STO, which stands for store. It's right above your on key. So you need to have 1 plus 0.08 divided by 12 in your calculator, so you need to be able to see all of those decimals, and then hit your store button. And when you hit store, you'll see on your calculator the letters A and S with a little arrow. That means you're wanting the calculator to store this answer, and you can store it as any variable that you want. X is the easiest variable to store it as because you have a key, an actual button on your calculator that says X. So go ahead and hit X, store it as X, and then hit enter. So now when we use the variable button with the X, the decimal 1.0066 and all of the other decimals there will be stored as X on our calculator. So now we can just rewrite our equation in logarithmic form. So this would be log base 1.0066 ... Log base 1.0066 of 20 is equal to 12t. And then we can just divide by 12. So t is going to equal log base 1.0066 ... of 20, all divided by 12. But when you actually put this in your calculator, you're not going to type all of those decimals. You're going to type log base x of 20, all divided by 12, because we stored this decimal as the variable x on our calculator. And then remember, how are you really going to enter in your calculator log base x of 20? Well, you'll use your change of base property. That's going to be entered as the log of 20 divided by the log of x in your calculator. So definitely try these keystrokes on your own. Pause the recording when you need to, because you want to make sure that you're not making a careless calculator mistake. You want to know how to use your calculator correctly. But when you enter all of this in, you should end up with an answer of approximately 37.57 years. 37.57 years. So when you're dealing with these application problems that involve exponential growth or exponential decay, the rule of thumb is you should never round any decimals in the middle of a problem. You should only round one time, and that should be at the very, very end of the problem. So if necessary, use the store button on your calculator to avoid rounding within a problem. Example 3. How long will it take for $2,500 to double at 10% interest compounded quarterly? So once again, we're solving for how long it will take for this investment to double. So that means we're solving for time again. If we're starting out with an investment of $2,500 and we want it to double, then that means we're ultimately interested in having a $5,000 investment in the end. So we'll have 5,000 is equal to 2,500 times the quantity 1 plus my interest rate as a decimal, which would be 0.1 or 0.10, divided by how many times our interest is compounded per year. Quarterly means 4 times a year. And then all raised to the 4 times t power. So once again, we want to isolate the exponential quantity. So we'll divide both sides of the equation by 2,500, and we'll get 2 is equal to 1 plus 0.1 divided by 4, all raised to the 4t power. Now in this problem, you can go ahead and compute 1 plus 0.1 divided by 4, because that works out to an exact decimal. You'd get 2 equals 1.025, all raised to the 4t. So this is an example of a problem where you really don't need to store on your calculator because the decimal 1.025 is exact. So all I'm going to do is rewrite this in log form. Log base 1.025 of 2 is equal to 4t. I'll come over here. And then divide by 4. So t, time, the number of years, will be log base 1.025 of 2, all divided by 4. Once again, let's talk about how are we going to enter this logarithm into our calculator. We'll enter it as the log of 2 divided by the log of 1.025 using our change of base property. And our final answer then should be approximately 7.02 years. As I said before, definitely try it on your calculator to make sure that you know how to use your calculator on these types of problems.